sounds. In the past, we used to have delegates that voted for branches. And in 2009, the decision was made to go to one member, one vote. Have all of you received your packet in the mail? Okay. There are two ways to vote. Either by mail, fill this out, complete it, and send it back in, or online. In here, there's a PIN number that's very important that you'll need to vote online. We will vote for candidates, bylaw amendments, and the public policy program, online or mail-in. Key dates: if you are mailing your paper ballot, do it by May 31st. If you're going to do it electronically, you can do it by June 17th, and they will even have the availability to do that at National Convention if we haven't done it by then. One member, one vote. How do I participate? Well, first I'd recommend that you read up on the candidates and the bylaws, and there's two ways to do that. In your packet itself, there is a brochure that's got everything laid out. In our recent Outlook that you would have just received this week, the same section is in here. It outlines, it gives pictures of all the candidates, gives their biographies, and it lays out the public policy things that we're going to vote on. So there's plenty of places to look. You can also get it online. Read up on the issues, discuss them. I won't go through all the names here. Let's just talk about the bylaws and amendments real quickly. I'm just going to go through them very, very quickly. Require the proper use of the name AAUW to protect its name. Now, why would we need to protect our name? Do you remember about a year ago there was a group that used, I don't remember all the details, but somebody used our letterhead and wrote letters in. What was it about? In Maryland, wrote something to Congress, a congressional staffer used AAUW to support or protest something, and so this is to protect our name and logo. Remove reference to IFUW. I've never heard of IFUW. Foundation of University Women?
International Federation.
We did this years ago.
International Federation of
Well,
University.
somebody correct me, it was either 09 or 07 that we went through this at association convention.
But we are no longer
This should
members.
be eliminated completely.
Right, we are no.
That's what this is for. Yeah, remove the reference. Okay. Well, maybe they did it and now they're just changing the bylaws to support what was done 2 years ago. Right. Remove the term member at large. So we're not going to have MALs anymore. They'll either be a national member or a national member and a state or branch member. Clarify the status of partner member representatives and allow 2 representatives. Nothing too controversial there. This might be controversial since in the new structure we don't have to have a lot of the required officers that we used to. They are saying you do need someone to record. They don't call them a secretary anymore, but you do need someone to record the minutes because it's an IRS requirement that nonprofits record the minutes and have them available for later on. Now, number 6 and number 8 are controversial. And I want to talk about this. We would not have known this had someone not sent Barb an email. And we appreciate your sending it on to everyone. And I want to talk about it just a little bit. Number 6 and 8 refer to what happens when a branch goes defunct or a branch is in the process of disbanding. And I'm going to read this to you. I apologize. Hello everyone. Now that we're receiving our AAUW ballots, I would urge everyone to carefully reconsider bylaw amendments number 6 and 8. I personally plan to vote against these 2 amendments because I believe they're poorly worded and do not convey actual intent. The intent, I'm told, was to cover branches in states that are dead and long gone with no apparent heirs who may still have a bank account or other assets but no one left from the dead branch. In that case, AAUW is responsible for those assets and can decide to which AAUW entity they should go. None of us would disagree with that. However, the way these 2 amendments are worded, it appears to say that any live branch that is in the process of willingly disbanding does not have the right to decide for itself what to do with its assets. This isn't what was intended, but it's the way it reads. The current bylaws state the assets of a disbanding branch must go to an AAUW entity, and it is their choice if that AAUW entity is a neighboring branch, the state, or national. That wording is very clear and should remain as it is and not be changed. I personally intend to vote against these two amendments. There's even a letter from AAUW's attorney on the website that indicates he does not feel that these amendments are necessary. If needed, later on, these amendments could be rewritten and brought back to the membership in 2013, but I don't think they should be approved as they are written. Now, Barb and I both respect this lady because she is a former AAUW bylaws chair, and it's Caroline Pickens, National Bylaws Chair. So I will leave it to you to read 6 and 8 and decide if you want to vote for or against them.
Sharon, if you look at, in the Outlook, it crosses out the old wording, you know, and it has boldface in the new word. It's clear there. Look at what was crossed out, and that's what Carolyn Pickens is saying. It wasn't broken. We really don't need to fix it. It was, the intent is clear in the old wording, and Carolyn, for 4 years, chaired national bylaws. She thinks bylaws, you know? I mean, the rest of us just read it and say, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I was very pleased that the email came to me just 3 days before today, so that it could come up today.
For those of you who have already mailed in your ballots, there's nothing we can do about that, and don't feel bad, but for those of you who have not, I would take a careful look at 6 and 8. 9 is designate paper and electronic ballots as the only means of voting. So we have our 2 ways, electronic or ballots. Clarify quorum, deleting unnecessary words, expand the phrase, harassment free to include bullying. These are just phraseology statements. Adding against human trafficking, which is kind of the cause du jour.
Yeah.
Charter schools.
We need
Amen.
to send this in to all our elected officials in the state of Indiana, and our man Mitch needs to get this.
It's a little late.